Let's give a warm welcome to Congressman Carter.
Thank you, John. And first and foremost, thank all of you, every single one of you, who came out here to listen, to watch this film, and to talk about it. This is the second time I've watched this film. My wife and I watched it night before last. I watched it again. Oh, sorry. I'll probably pace more than I'll sit. We watched it again tonight. It is a film that points out a lot of the things that we already know because we are Texans. You know, I tell people in Washington that we have a saying in Texas that in a plate of ham and eggs, the hen is involved, but the pig is committed. Well, that's very simple. Texans have lived with this issue all of their adult lives and all of their children, their lives as a child. And so this is our issue. And I honestly and truly believe, and that's why Sam Johnson and I started a process a long time ago to try to get something done, to try to come up with a common sense solution for immigration reform. We decided we were going to do it as two Texans, and we were going to try to get together the hardest group of people we could put it together and see if we could come up with a solution. Now, the film told us the problems. The film did not give us the solutions. You've all got your ideas on the solutions, and I'm willing to let you share those with me. I want to share with you some of the solutions we've come up with and how we did it. Now, let's talk about solving a problem in Washington, D.C. first, okay? So everybody knows this because you all took civics at some point in time in your life to graduate from high school, so you know a little bit about how our government works. And our challenge as we started out looking at this problem was how can we get something that will be passed in such a manner that it will pass the House, which is controlled by the Republican Party, and pass the Senate, which is controlled by the Democratic Party, and get signed by the President, who is the head of the Democratic Party. And that's a real challenge. Many, many people say to us all the time, why don't you do this in the House? You can do it. Sure we can. And if that and 50 cents or maybe $1 will get you a cup of coffee. But the facts are, if the Senate doesn't pass it and the President doesn't sign it, it doesn't become law. And if it's not law, it's not worth the time to do the job. I'm going to tell you something else that is my personal feelings about the whole process. And I've been at it now for over 4 years. Before I became chairman of a committee that is the #1 subject of that committee is immigration. Before that time I started on this. I'm concerned about the fact that we have an administration that has a history now of not enforcing the laws that are on the books. And so I start off on in this process being very clear to you that I have worked my butt off on this thing with a bunch of really fine people. But I'm not going to I'm not going to continue to do it if I keep seeing a president and an attorney general who refuse to enforce the law. Because it's a waste of our time. So that's a subject for another time. And we ask don't shout out or we'll never get anything done, okay? So starting there, let me just show you what we came up with. And you're not going to like every bit of it. I'm going to tell you that. I should have taken out my coat before I took my coat off.